Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Contact Lost. The preparation for the LGT this time round, we're not really having an interview, but Majson and myself will be looking
Hello
at
there.
a couple of lists from the main event not, this time round. Possibly some of them will also show up at the Invitational. But yeah, that's the main theme for today. Majson, we've got how many? 10 lists to look at?
Like 10 for now. I have. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So, yeah.
there's 830 to pick from, so we've definitely missed some big names that will might perform very well at the event. But guys, it's nothing personal. It's just our fairly random pick, or just something that really got our eyes on. Now, before we go into this, a massive thank you to our sponsors, the Army Painter and Weyland-Yutani, as well as our community of patrons and YouTube members. All right, Mason, who have we got first?
So let's let's start with our only Team Poland representative, coming to both LGT Invitational and LGT main event. So Lesiu. Yeah, as you probably know, he's our Team Poland member, and he played WTC this year and last year. Yeah, it's like and 2 years before as well. So yeah, a really strong player, and he's coming for LGT to see how UK plays 40k basically. Uh, yeah. So we do have here a kind of not popular choice for of the army. So he picked Chaos Demons to for the event, and just short introduction of the list. So we have a Belacor as a centerpiece. We have a couple of Corn related stuff. So Master, Bloodthirster, and Rentmaster. A lot of shooty lot of change. Great unclean one with like 4-up Penal Pain. Two times Bloodletters, Nurglings, two pieces of Nurgles, and Fleshhounds. So a couple of heaters like Bloodletters with Rentmaster, and then big demons that basically do all the stuff on the table. So have one shooting one who can fight, so Bloodthirster, and great unclean one to just sit on the objective and tank like all the shooting, all the melee possible, with 4-up Invul and 4-up Film Pain, and Belacor as a centerpiece of the list, which basically enables demon tricks around the table by providing the shadow aura for basically everything in the roster.
Yeah, some protection from shooting, given the long lanes of firing on the UKTC
Yeah.
tables, will definitely prove very good to have in the list, maybe even more so than on WTC terrain layouts. And but I think the main standout from your usual demon list is that Leshu's not taking any blood crushers. What do you think of that?
Um, yeah, he's not taking Blood Crushers, but they're of course amazing unit. But we don't have like focus here on a monocorn, because we have a lot of other things coming. So, for example, the lot of change that can actually open up transports with the enhancement and all the like shooting there.
Mm.
Uh, in the like monocorn, it's when you have, for example, double throne, it's totally fine to take crushers. And surprisingly, bloodletters kills enough, in my experience, and they're way cheaper in the list, and including like full 6 of blood crushers. And in terms of like survivability, they just both die, especially on open tables. So those are like units that can will probably arrive somewhere and kill some, for example, screen Just kill something that doesn't require to commit the greater demon for to the to the yeah to the battlefield.
Yeah, blood
Yeah,
looters are also easier to deliver, right? And the damage is sort of similar, like you're saying. I
yeah,
really like the flesh hounds because they're also super cheap, but they work with the whatever the Renmaster is the name of the blood throne thing.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a nice little trading piece.
Yeah. So we have like two trading pieces and two things for missions. So piece of Nargle are yeah amazing units. We get infiltrators, bloodletters for hitting, and then we have like big things on table. All can just start under Balakor aura, so we are more or less safe from shooting. And for example, we can put Belacor in the Castle of Demons in the like expansion objective, and put Great Unclean One in the center objective, so we can actually play this game offensively. And we have a lot of tricks on the table that basically enables demons to, for example, range deep strike somewhere, charge within yeah 16 charges from the deep strike. It's like a really good all-rounder list. I'm not saying it's specifically the best possible pick for the metagame, because this for sure have some tough matchups, like highly aggressive sisters, or for example T-Sons, and basically things that could potentially just kill greater demons easily. But yeah, the list itself is like really interesting, and I'm really curious how it will just play on UKTC tables.
Yeah, great. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. So next one, I do have Vic here from Team Ignite and Team England as well. And he decided to take Sisters, and yeah, I actually yeah, we discussed some stuff related to Sisters here. But yeah, starting from the top, we have like standard things. So Triumph and some characters for actions. Double Canoness. Vic really likes to play solo Canonesses. Two Dialogus. Then we have like standard pieces of like mechanized sisters. So 2 times Immolator, 3 times Castigators. We have a like kind of interesting loadout here. So 1 time auto cannons, 2 times battle cannons. I
Mm-hmm.
much prefer coming right now with single battle cannon to auto cannons, but that are details basically. 2 times Dominion Squad, double Exorcist. That's and then we have 10 and 5 Seraphims here. So Sisters archetypes basically comes around how many exorcists you have, or are going into like indirect right now, or mass seraphims. I played both lists and both were fine. I much prefer like seraphims, spamming seraphims than exorcists, because yeah, I wasn't lucky enough, but exorcists are really powerful units. Yeah, last time I rolled like 22 shots and hit one. So that
Unlucky.
yeah, for us, uh, all by statistics. Yeah, but actually, in this kind of lists, the exorcist don't always go as indirect pieces only. They are meant for something more, and to basically push into the battlefield and shoot. Yeah, within a line of sight. That's the. Of course, you do some use indirect if you need to, but basically they're more also like capable of actually playing on table in the middle of the board. So yeah, it's a very good list. very like good player, and this is sisters, in my opinion, are really meant for singles because they can like play. They don't have like clear no games in the metagame. They can try to fight with everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion on it. So yeah.
What do you think
My
of the list? Is that a list that you would take, or
no,
did you have some other ideas?
I
Would you have
prefer
some other
I
ideas?
prefer a different take. So either I'm playing triple castigators, double immolator, and triple exorcist with 10-man squad seraphims and double dominions. That's my first list. And my
Mm-hmm.
second list is double immolator, triple castigator, and three times 10 seraphims with celestine.
All right. So
Uh,
the variants you've just mentioned.
Yeah, so this is something like a middle ground between. I'm not convinced on this set of characters. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I really think that right now what I'm missing here is a piece that was introduced in Imperial Agents Codex, so a navigator. Because I find navigator as a must-have in any sisters list right now. I know you pay like 75 points for a 12-inch deep strike denial bubble, but you need this for a majority of armies right now. And after playing Sisters for some time, I strongly think that both Necrons and Grey Knights are like a bad matchups for Sisters because they have better mobility actually. So Navigator can stop it by just deploying and blocking backfield, which enables basically to keep some of the units, like Seraphims, safe on our deployment zone,
Mm-hmm.
and then to just play as a counter. So yeah, that's something I'm missing here. But I know that this is like 75 points. It's questionable sometimes. I just like it. So that's my take.
Yeah,
Canonizers,
especially in singles where you're not blocked by other factions wanting agents, right?
yeah,
Why not take them?
exactly. So yeah, double canonizers. Something I didn't test it. I have this on my list to test on board, so I don't have an opinion on it. They can get super durable for a turn with 2-up invul and yeah, for turn they can get, but I'm not definitely not relying on such things. So because yeah, and it's also like an easy character. I don't know. I'm just not convinced. Maybe I'll change my mind sometimes, but yeah. Dialogues are fine because they are cheaper and then have. I really like this utility to get rid of a battle shock. So
Mm-hmm.
it's usable at least once per game somewhere. So it's usually like something like 1 CP less for auto pass when you really need it. So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the next one then?
Yes. Okay, so then we have another top player here from Team England, and so Manichima with his also demon list, and he decided to go like straight up corn stuff. So of course there are some supporting stuff
There we
around,
go.
but
18 blood crushers.
yeah, we have
This
like
is a very money list, isn't it?
yeah. If something's good, just take it 3 times or
Yeah,
maximum
to the
times you can.
extreme.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and two
40k
double
is
Grandmaster.
easy.
Double Grandmaster, so could potentially could just point two targets, not one, not just one. So that's and of course a great and clean one with enhancements for this point. It's like ridiculous.
Yep.
So this is the first thing, and then we do have Scarbrand, and I actually don't know what Mask of Slaanesh do. I might just check it.
She can give -1 to wound, I think. But yeah, let's have a look.
And that's something. Yeah. The Mask of Slaanesh.
She's alone up, right? So at least she's got
Oh,
that
okay.
going
And
for her.
yeah, fight first, lone operative, and then yeah, okay. So and
Yeah, and she gives a -1 to wound for melee attacks of an enemy unit, potentially.
I think it's more for a lone op because we don't have Belacro here, so this one lone op can be potentially good.
Yeah,
Uh,
for missions and
yeah.
holding back
Uh,
objectives.
to be honest, what I'm missing here is like either the Belacor, because yeah, I really like it. I won't lie, because Belacor is like this bubble of lone op is a game changer, especially on those maps. Or, for example, like a second demon from Korn, Greater Demon, to get actually the deep strikes easier.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now the list will probably rely on a strong one turn, and if there's an army that have a screening potential, we don't have like means to remove the screen. So it
Yeah,
could be really hard and tough,
could
especially
be
if
an
you
issue.
play this anti demon playstyle. So just spread up things on board, and then yeah, you can fail those like 5 inches charges because you have like +1 to charge if I remember correctly here. But yeah, I would probably drop one blood crushers to have double 10 blood letters. That's
Yeah, just have more units that
yeah,
can punch for
because
something.
demons basically are really like they have a small unit count, and this affects the play, and this can actually um, be a problem of such lists.
Yeah, especially with a deep strike heavy army, right? Which demons are.
Yeah, and you don't have actually protection from deep strikes as well.
Mm.
So also like I think the like a single piece of Nurgle is like amazing piece. That's can be deep strike. You can deep strike piece of Nurgle into opponent's DZ, and then basically he needs to commit something to this, and he can't
Yeah,
commit any like small target because
yeah, it's not
uh,
something that dies from scouts, right?
but nevertheless, this is like a strength list with triple crushers, and you can do a lot of damage with this, especially that you have like double thrown here.
Yeah, you can put up a lot of pressure, and an opponent can just get overwhelmed. I like the double Rendmaster here because it gives some redundancy, and not only you can strike in 2 places of the board at once, but also the ability stacks. So in a rare
Yeah,
case scenario, you can get to damage 4 on the Blood Crushers and can ensure a kill of something. That's
yeah. If you
pretty
really need
decent
to kill
stuff.
something, you will,
Yeah,
because then you have damage 4 on weapons or something like that, and this is like
exactly.
yeah, but
Which is nice.
which is super nice. But they also, if you don't play Belacor, then you need like this redundancy, because
Yeah.
probably those are the first targets to kill, provided you're not being overwhelmed. You need to kill one or two drones.
Yeah, and the throne also needs to see its target, so it can't
Yes,
be a one use only in that case.
yes.
It's very
And
prone to retaliation.
yeah, exactly. And you don't have Belacor to protect them from enemy shooting, so it can be yeah. I like.
Yeah, so you
I
kind of
would
need to pick
definitely
two.
play if I were to play demons, I would probably also play double Grandmaster. But like I said, I will put probably double Bloodletters, double Black Crushers. I will try to find points for Belacor and then think about it. Of course, this is staple. You need to
Yeah,
play Great and Clean
this
One.
guy stays.
If you are not playing Great and Clean One, if in your demon list, something's wrong.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah. So now we do have Brian Sape. So with also Team Ignite and Team USA player from this year.
Orcs. That's an
Orcs.
interesting
Yes.
choice in the
Yes.
current meta, I feel like.
I actually haven't checked what's this team song here. Let's check it. What's this? Yeah, so I will check it in a minute. We have kind of interesting here. It's a Warhorde attachment. Warhorde was I was mess up this too. It's not a green tide, it's a Warhorde. So the index one, if I'm correct. Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's not Bully Boys, it's not Green Tide, so it has to be the index one, right? Eliminating suspect.
Yeah, it's really easy to confuse Warhorde with Green Tide detachments.
It is like it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, this is first of all, orcs are after like initial hype on them, and they are not popular. And I personally think that they have fundamental problems with the army rule. So and difference is there's a total difference of going first and second on the whole game mechanic for orcs.
Mm.
However, they're still like viable. Warhorde is actually the detachment that allows to have like the most like all the best damage output from all three of the detachments. Bully Boys, I know they allow to have double water, but on the other hand, we do have here the sustained hits basically, and some of the stratagems here. Like +2 to advance and charge Karin is really fine, or critical hits on 5-ups. This all adds up for like having a possibility to do damage outside water. So yeah, and what do we have here is basically war bosses, Gazgul, and Brian really likes to play those kinds of units. So 20 boys, and 2 battle Valgals for them. So this list is basically more or less based on targeting the opponent. So you're just driving battle wagons and try to then launch 20 boys and 20 boys, maybe 120 or double 20, depends on the matchup, to just create a really chaotic game state, and then to try to like score where when the boys are targeting the opponent in the DZ. And you do have also like war bosses to do damage, and Gazgul, which also is kind of for force multiplier, and also a really strong and tough piece on its own, with 2 mega nobs for him over here. And yeah, I'm not sure what I will take, because I don't have, to be honest, my own orc lists. So I do have some models for some reason, but yeah. Uh,
I don't have any models nor list ideas for orcs, so also can't really comment on that.
I
But I think an interesting choice to actually take orcs.
Yeah,
Just gonna
definitely interesting choice, especially on the UKTC tables that tends to have open shooting lanes, and we don't see flash gates over here.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
good catch.
but it's interesting, and it's Brian, and he really likes, and he is really good orc player. So we'll see.
Yep, definitely. All right, let's move
Let's go.
on.
So we do have Alex Sacco list right now, and also not so popular, I guess, choice right now after the series of nerf. But we do have
Thousand Suns are still one of the more represented factions at the event. We didn't talk about the faction spread, so we might come back to it at the end, and I'll find it in the meantime.
yeah, we can definitely go back to that. I know that they're popular, but they're in the competitive scene. They're right now after nerfs. They are not so popular. At least that's my impression.
Hmm.
You can still do like a great job with them, and there are two. Those two list archetypes are still living. So like Triple Beast and Forge Fiends versus like Rubric Spam, and this is like still fine army to play. I'm just saying it's kind of less popular right now from the top players, as we can see also like from the list that of players that we picked. This
Yeah,
is
this is
like
the only one I think, right?
the only one I noticed, at least. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there are too many lists to check them all, but this is the from people I know. This is like only T-Sons
Mm-hmm.
over there. And going quickly through the list is kind of triple Inferno standard, triple Inferno Master. We have double Sorcerer, so double Lonop enablers. That's, I think, for UKTC tables are fine fine pick.
Yep,
Uh, Magnus or Riemann, like standard.
obviously.
Yeah, sometimes I personally think Ariman is kind of you can get rid of him. It doesn't affect that much.
I don't know. I rate him high.
Uh,
That free cabal, that plus
yeah,
one to wound,
but
it's okay. And
it's
he gives free
okay.
cabal on his own.
Yeah, it's okay, but yeah, it's not many points.
It's not that much
The,
more than any of the other characters,
yeah,
if you factor in the upgrades, at least. Well, never
yeah.
mind. Let's agree to disagree, and let's see how many rubric squads he's got. And that looks like
All
it's 5, right? One, two,
it
three, four,
looks like
5,
six.
6 even.
1, 2,
Ooh.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and that was the catch here. So basically, we don't have any beasts.
That's interesting. So
And
he's gone
we
full
are,
infantry
yeah, you just go full infantry
with one
with a
rhino.
single rhino. So we are using the rhino as a catapult for rubrics, and do
Mm-hmm.
damage with rubrics Infernal Masters to the target.
Yeah.
uh I heard that this list is really good and can do a lot of damage and like T-Sense, and got really good scores and good results. Uh, uh, I discussed this beast with Alex, and
Mm-hmm.
my opinion is that okay, beasts maybe on UKTC tables, can't. I don't have like really good like practice on the UKTC table, so I might not know. I might be wrong with this take, but even on those tables, I really value having a beast or two. Because right now, like
I think
heavy.
I think I agree because and then take advantage of the 36-inch Doombolt actually.
Yes. Just a single beast hidden in the backfield. You will use this beast for sure at some point. It's OC4 with all the flamers, all the with flamers, with stuff around, and it costs just 150 points. Come on.
Yeah, there's so many matchups where pushing that beast in the beginning also just helps open the game up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really good. But
Also, for
I really like the 6 rubric squads. It's just because
yes,
again that gives some redundancy because they're really squishy, and then you could just keep on doing damage more than 1 or 2 turns.
yes, but I'm really kind of reluctant and I don't know how it works with mobility
Mm.
because it's kind of hard to get them around on those tables. You need to use like double move to get them on the position, and you can do this with 2 squads potentially. Also, we don't have like spawns here, only cultists. I don't know. I'd probably go with in this kind of list. I would probably go with 5 rubric squad. Just drop Ariman, have potentially another Rhino or something, or but having one beast instead of Ariman and one rubric squad and some.
Yeah, maybe.
But
there are options.
there are options, but this is
We can
still
say
like
that for sure.
this is still like good list with a lot of redundancy for rubric marines, so you can actually trade rubric marines for controlling the objectives. The only issue that arises for me at least is that what if the opponent tries to push you with like mobility advantage and stuff like that? You can't really push into this kind of list because you have just one Rhino, one teleport, and 2 Magnus to do it.
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking that the new terrain piece that was introduced could be a little bit problematic because it kind of shuts down your angles for shooting, and it's the one that's like only 2 inches wide, and well, everything can go over it, and if you stand in it, everything can see you. So it's a bit problematic for the slow rubrics.
Yes, but it's really good. On the other hand, it's really good to hide the Rhino behind.
Yeah, for
So,
that, it's perfect.
but you probably you then sacrifice the Rhino. It's hard to judge right now.
You don't really want to
Also,
do that too early.
yeah, definitely not too early.
Oh, we'll have to see what Alex has
Yeah.
in mind here and how he'll do.
Also, I might have also like a WTC perspective, and this list on UKTC just needs to win by 1 point. You don't have to like push for more. You
No, no.
just need a like small win, small stable win to secure, and that's enough. So that's a different philosophy standing behind lists. For example, with like thick list, it's not like full pressure, full exorcists and full seraphims like we do in teams event. It's more like an all-rounder approach.
Mm.
Let's go forward. So right now we have the Liam VSL, and and he decided to come with
Veterans of
Chaos.
the Long War.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I've read, I think Goonhammer did some math where they've mapped out that it actually packs the most damage out of all the detachments, at least into the oath target, but I've not seen it have any play so far and didn't get around to doing it myself. So interesting to see Liam taking this detachment for sure.
Yeah. So this is yeah. Right now, the most popular pick, I guess, are Renegades.
Yeah,
From
because
the
that
detachment.
1 CP stratagem for moving after combat is so addictive.
Yeah, I played CSM. I just can't even think of changing the detachment because of this stratagem, because this is so ridiculous and it opens up so many plays, and this is yeah. Uh, it's really good. Yeah, I'm just double checking what's in the veterans. So it's interesting pick, for sure. We do have like the most damage output into a single target, and we do have some tricks still. So there's a rocket move over there. There is yeah, what's over there? You can give fight first against the outed unit. And that's yeah. And there's still like AOC on there. So kind of disappointing in contrast to Renegades.
Yeah, those
But
there are two strats that are 2 CP, right? So the second oath target and I think the fight first is 2 CP
yeah,
as well.
there are two. Yeah, I noticed that. And oh yeah, focus of hatred. You also need to like kill the previous hated unit, and then you get the other one. And you need
Yeah.
to yeah, and then you need to
Yeah, and
see
there
the
needs to be a
target.
character. Yeah, you need to see it. It's a very expensive trigger, I want to say.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
let's. What's in
But
the list? You're not
let's go through the
scrolling, and
list.
I can't
So
see it, and I have to see it.
yeah, Lord, Cipher, and we have like trio of characters over there. So Fabius, Huron, and Lucius. We have a bunch of Marines over there. 2 times Legionnaires, 2 times Noise Marines. 2 times Rhino, 2 times the Chaos Predator, and then we have Chosen. So small squad, big squad, and 2 times Obliterators. It seems that there are not so many units in the list.
No, not really. I mean, you've got a chosen blob that makes it fairly reliable.
The Chosen Blob, I played against it in a like versus different list, and it's really good. Like the Chosen Blob with probably Fabius. It's yeah, it's really good.
Mm.
Yeah, Obliterators. Yeah,
Look
Obliterators.
at
I think are
trying
fine.
to look up Huron. I have no idea what he does. I've got the book here. There we go. What does Huron do?
Your active move. And, yeah.
Adds OC. Oh, he gives a redeploy. That's okay. And a once per battle
Yeah,
reactive move.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
he's actually an interesting toolkit.
redeploy. I don't value redeploys anymore. When they got changed to like being all before you roll off. But yeah, it's
not as good, but if you're
he
bad
just
at
goes.
deploying stuff like I am, then it's pretty valuable still.
I think Liam will manage to deploy properly.
Probably.
And we do have it's only 80 points.
Yeah, so he's all right.
Yeah, so I think it's fine. So basically, we do have some shooting. We have the Blobs of Chosen. Personally, I still would prefer playing Accursed list and Renegades, but yeah, that's me. It's really interesting. I think that there might be some surprise factor coming with this list, and Liam with some
Definitely.
surprise factor. We all know what he can do. So
Yeah, some very high scoring victories that come out of that combination. But
exactly.
I think I can understand not taking ACDC to UKTC because it's gonna be hard hiding all those blobs reliably.
Yeah, that's for example why I was like doing them like mind experiment. What's list I would take
Hmm.
if I were
Playing.
yeah, if I were playing. So there are three picks. First one was a Skark based list of CSM, so double Accursed, triple Vindicator, triple Predator, and Abaddon.
Hmm.
Is it as it is? Uh, or Sisters with 30 Seraphims, probably, or some kind of an AdMech. Like really for like 45 Xeroxy and stuff around. I would probably never take AdMech to UK because I would need to take two additional
Buy
baggage
insurance for it.
and buy insurance for it. So no. So I'll probably end up with CSM Sisters, but yeah. This list will be really interesting to watch, and will for sure during the event take a close.
Keep a close eye on it.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Who have we got up next then?
Another another list that's surprised me to that Ines actually took it on the so we do have Gene Stealer Cult, Outlander Claw.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, so a bunch of Claymores, Saboteur, and a bunch of acolytes over there, and yeah, how many squads? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
All of
6,
the squads.
7, 7. So yeah. He actually needed to take one without flamers. So
Yeah, one melee squad had to be there.
yeah, exactly. And then no fights, double no fights, and a bunch of trucks. So Goliath, a healer switch runners, solo mortar, and 2 times last cannons, so
Mm.
lasers, 2 times jackals, and rock grinders. Yeah. So basically, this list, they you put Colormores and acolytes into rock riders and drive around with really high OC because that detachment rule. Let me just open it for a
Yeah, doubles
while.
the OC of
Yeah,
bikes and trucks.
exactly. So you have a high OC, so it's a really like control stylist. You can go out of the transport and still deliver a lot of OC. And with all the shooting combined, you can actually do some damage. Because you do have some anti-tank shooting, mobile anti-tank with reach runners, and also
And the rock grinders.
rock
Oh
grinders
no,
with
they've got
flamers.
flamers.
Yeah, do have flamers, but they have also combat weapons, so they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
Also, you can put 4-up info or reach runners, so they're not like dying to anything.
Breeze. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for rock grinders, you can do -1 damage. You have reactive movement, as well for reach runners and jackals. So it's also a list based around tricks, and this is straight up. They stat wise, they're just worse than other armies, but on the other hand, you do have a lot of tricks, surprise factor, and also the Calamorph itself can shoot from the transport, and you do have, if you count 3 of them, it's 18 shots on 2-up with death wounds. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. So doesn't this list or style of list tempt you to play GSC again?
No. There's one specific reason for that. So I just hate this mechanic when it started to be random. So the army roll
They bring
to
back
resurrect
units.
on 4-ups. If only they, I had a good idea, somewhat on some occasion, drinking beers with guys, that they actually should have done this. Like you have like fixed amount of resurrections during the battle on each level of the game. So on Strike Force, for example, get 4 guaranteed resurrections,
Mm.
and that would be fine. It's fair, it's predictable, and or for example, I don't know, you have like 10 resurrection points, and then upper ends cost you like 3 resurrection points or something like that, or just do some point wise, because being random, and especially for singles, it's just too random. For teams, it's too random because you can lose entire game just not running this. But this list is kind of
Yeah, it
also,
kind of doesn't care, right? Because
yeah, that's
the
why
majority of
it's,
stuff it uses doesn't benefit from the rule because it's only for the acolytes and neophytes, essentially, for this list.
yeah, exactly. So that's only like for slowing to the game. If you if it happens that you will resurrect, for example, 5 acolytes, then you will just reuse them for some control game. And yeah, sorry, it's getting late. I played against this list once, and I don't like it. Just straight up.
Fair
I
enough.
I just I mean, it's probably one of the best lists GSC can do right now, and there's like huge surprise factor involved because no one knows how to play against GSC right now. So maybe that would be tempting for me for to try it, because the style itself is fine. It's fine because you do have like vehicles, Atalans, and a lot of a bunch of angry acolytes with flamers to do some stuff around. I think that this list also lacks some of the efficient anti-tank,
Mm-hmm.
and it has just 0 defense against some hard pushing armies. For example, also I don't know how this would be supposed to play against GK, so grenades.
Yeah,
Which
I also feel like if you lose the roll to Wolf Jail, you're done.
yeah, as well. So
For example. Yep.
surprisingly, I didn't notice any wolf jail at LGT.
I had the faction spread to hand, and there's 22
Oh,
Space Wolves players, but in a pool of 830, that doesn't really say much.
Yeah. I just missed this one.
Yeah, okay. Where are you trying to...
No, I was trying to just check
For
if
Space Wolves, can you search by faction?
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's search for players, so space by type. Oh yeah, if you do it like that.
Trying to.
Okay, do we know anyone here?
I'm trying to find some name that
Yeah,
can be.
I can see that.
Okay, let's check the first one from the.
Well, I think it's got 18 cavalry. It's got 12.
12. So it's. Yeah, it's not a wolf jail.
No.
Okay.
All right, never mind. Let's carry on with what we've got.
Yeah, I do have 2 left here, yeah, I can't count, so I picked only 9. But yeah, let's go with a guard representative. So we go with Nassim's list. Guard. I probably guard is in a metagame since the start of the edition. And they also got a lot of nerfs on this like long road. So Leontis, command squads, tank commanders, blah 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 blah, and
18
mighty
Bulgren.
18 Bulgrins. So
Yeah,
basically, this is the like playstyle of this list. So I do have 18 Bulgrins, and yeah.
yeah, they are going to target you, and then everything from the back will shoot you to death.
Yeah. You have tanks, so interesting choice, battle cannons. To be honest, I think that eradicators are actually so Lemaros's eradicators are really like good because you had 6 plus D3 shots.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all tanks are more or less viable. Hellhounds back in the game, they're really good. Like Hellhounds for this points with 2 up save. Oh yeah, good
Fantastic
chassis
unit.
and really good unit. Happy to see them back in the list. Yeah, so some shooting. Leontus is a like staple. You need to do to play Leontus. No gun ghosts, but yeah, it's okay. And yeah, tank commander with demolisher cannon. What to say more? It's interesting
Yeah,
because
there's not much to add.
it's also a list that I personally think that fits into like UKTC style of tables because you have like shooting options and that are fairly mobile, and then those you can just making use of those long firing lanes around.
Yeah, with
And
the massive range on the tanks, that's bigger than the board actually is, which
yeah,
always seems excessive. But yeah, here you can take the advantage of
yeah,
it.
you do have Hellhounds to actually put on the objective and force the opponent to move to use their anti-tank on them. And then you
Yeah, and
have
you can
Bulgrins,
stage
which
Bulgren very well in the ruins close to the
yes,
objectives, and you can
exactly the
give them
staging.
additional OC and just tarp it on an objective and make sure you still control
Yeah,
it.
and staging is really good for them in UKTC tables.
Yeah.
And you don't care about being like really strictly in the open because you do have a counter for shooting, so you can expose on a single lane and then clear the targets on the with your tanks. But yeah, this is a really impressive list, and there are a couple of guard players also around with 18 Bullgrens. We'll see how it goes.
Yep, definitely. And last but not least, we've got
Uh,
Kyle with Tau.
yes. So classic Galleon,
Tau unit.
and that's more or less.
Tanks.
He really don't like tanks. The opponent's
Yeah,
tanks.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's only one railgun, so it's fair.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
Iron cannons are straight up better right now. One railgun
I
for
mean,
fun, it's fine. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
it's
he rolls well with it. Maybe it's one railgun for your one CPU reroll.
Hammerhead's got native rerolls, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but I think not for everything. Or maybe, well, you can still keep the CP for the damage or something. Oh no,
Yeah,
it's
because you got
Tau.
the
I don't know. I don't care about Tau.
whoever cares. Yeah, you get, for example, first of all, you do have native rerolls, so you can't use common rerolls on 2 hits and two wounds on the railgun. You could potentially reroll damage. It's d6 plus 6. So
There we
maybe
go.
if you roll a 1, you can
You
reroll
can
it
reroll it into a 1.
into a 1. Yeah, been there, done that. Yeah, mighty vect times. And all the PTSD that came around from it. But yeah, and
He's got
triple
3 Riptides.
surprisingly low amount of crises.
Yeah, I mean, now that there are units of 3, I don't know. I'm not really sold on Crisis units, to be
But
honest.
they're fine in a couple of detachments, but probably retaliation color
Yeah, I
is
don't think
better for
Callion's
them.
one of them, though, exactly.
But what I like about crises is that they don't give up so many bring it down points right now.
That's true.
Yeah, but
They
I
give
think
less.
overall, riptides can be really tough. They require some shooting, some output to remove from the objectives. So you can
They,
probably play with riptides more aggressively, and you
that's
have
true.
counter with tanks. And you do have probably the first turn will um, I would use, for example, breachers to do some damage, remove some scoring from the opponent, and then use riptides to actually step on the objectives, and then tanks for counter.
Yep.
I'm not a personally, I'm not a big fan of Tau in the current edition because I always think that they are missing something.
I mean, I think right now, Tau used to be an army that had ridiculous damage output, and I feel like it's not there this edition. Like Riptides used to be a really solid unit. They're still very tough. On the flip side, I feel like their shooting isn't reliable,
Yes,
especially into some really tough targets.
and
So
also
that's
they are really good on the one turn when you do have like death wounds, and it's
yeah,
once per battle. So
yeah, exactly.
damage 4 is fine.
Damage 4
On
is great,
yeah,
but strength 8 really isn't.
yes, because it's not enough even enough for killing rhinos and
Exactly.
transports because you want them on 5. So it's kind of disappointing. It's a really strange profile. Strength 8 and damage 4. But with death wounds, you could actually like compensate for it. But if you don't have death wounds, then yeah, the reptiles are always left me disappointed with the output.
Mm.
But as a summary, if you combine all the units over there, because they are cheap. This is like cheap unit.
Yeah, and I can totally see taking 3 Riptides with 3
Also,
Hammerheads.
hammerheads are really cheap.
Yeah, and you still have like lots of points left for chaff or some breachers.
Yeah, so you do have
Um,
like a lot of stuff on table, but which can be used in the in UKTCT setup. What I'm missing is in the all basically tau lists that you don't have any like push units that can reach behind the staging ruins of the opponent. Because you are not mobile. Riptides, they move 10. They are slow.
yeah,
They're really slow. And
and they've got the oval bases, right? So they're
you
really not.
always lose some points for pivoting around.
Yep,
And
exactly. No, but I think what I'm missing most here is the crude Farstalkers. Are they not in this list?
carnivores. No, they're not here.
I'm surprised. I feel like that's such a fantastic unit with both infiltrate and scout. You can do so much with it.
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. Especially that you have spare points. Like strike teams are not necessarily like needed, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm guessing that you can use them for primary denial early on before you get to your Callion turns, but again,
I,
Crude could do the same thing, right? And they're a little bit faster.
the problem with like playing the primary denial is that you can always deny if you're shooting, and the opponent will usually not use commit too much.
Can you though with Tau in this edition?
I don't
Can
know.
you have the like certainty of denying primary with the shooting
Uh,
without if you don't want to overcommit? That is.
so the thing is that the angles of shooting are like maybe we have like long open lines, but angles are usually that you can set up so you can see the objective, but to opponent for retaliation he needs to also like expose themselves. And this primary denial, okay, it depends what's on the objective, and sometimes you will just say, okay, you have objective for a turn, it's fine, you don't overcommit, you try to shoot it, if you fail it's not a failed game. I think like I have a strong like feeling that in the current edition it works kind of differently with this primary denial. I don't have like right justification and arguments for that, but I have like full feeling that I actually the recent games I played that not like let's deny ourselves primaries and wait for the last turn because you can't do it usually,
Mm.
especially if you go first. Because if you go first and play for like only primary denial, you will lose because the opponent finishes the game and you will lose.
Yes, score massive.
So going first is clearly a disadvantage, but you can turn this to advantage if you know how to control the game. And controlling the game means often pushing the opponent in like and playing aggressively. Can you play the game aggressively? It depends on the matchup, of course. But I think like I mean, my majority of experience comes from teams, so it's different because I can, if I need to, I will play for a small lose for 9 points. And for singles, I have impression that you need to push if you go first. You need to control the board, control the game, and try to secure your win and score big points in first 3 turns. So that means usually that you will expose yourself and try to commit really hard. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
As usual, we'll see.
We'll see. It's interesting that the Kyle will play also at Invitational, so we'll have this. We'll see this list in action early on Friday. So already, so we'll have some feedback at this point. I picked this list because as a Tau representative, because I'm really curious how Tau will deal on UKTC tables. So I will definitely watch it during the tournament.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the list that we had prepared for today. We can talk about the factions for the little because we omitted that in the beginning. Necrons are the most popular faction with 54 representatives.
Can you put this on the screen?
Hold up. Yeah, let me try and do that. Yeah, screen. Which one is it? Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So what we've got here, as I was saying, Necrons with 54 players, at least from those that submitted lists, presumably, up to this point, which is a 6.66% of the overall player base. I think it's not much of a surprise because Necrons, I feel like, are popular, maybe due to being in the starter of 9th edition, but maybe not only that. And they're just a stable faction throughout the edition, I want to say.
I think that Necrons are also popular in Poland to a great extent.
Yeah.
As I say, first of all, they were super popular due to the starter, so that's
Exactly,
something.
yeah.
On the other hand, this faction provides some variety. So you can find actually 3 playstyles in Necrons because the detachments are vary and then they differ in playstyle. So you play completely different with Hypercrypt, Canoptech, and Awakened. So yeah.
Yeah, so everyone can find something for themselves potentially in the Necrons. Then we've got Chaos Space Marines with 47 players, that's 5.8%. Tyranids, 45 players, 5.55, and World Eaters at 43 with 5.3%. And I'm going to stop now because I think I would not expect those 3 to be second, third, and fourth, respectively, in terms of faction representation. What do you think?
So Tyranids, it's still a starter from this edition.
That's true.
Leviathan. So
that could be the reason.
And also,
yep.
Tyranids just taking into consideration rule of cool. They also have different play styles, so you can find a kind of different interesting choices. I'm really surprised with World Eaters.
I think it's also going to the rule of cool that you've just stated. I think it's a faction that just has a big fan base, and that might be represented here because obviously with 830 people, you don't have just the top meta chasing players, right? We've got a whole lot of hobbyists that are coming to this event, so that could pull the numbers up here.
World Eaters are actually also really easy to get model wise.
Yeah, it's not a
the
huge
the
collection that you need, right?
Yeah, and you can easily collect the army of them. Just buy some 8 pounds, Angron and Berserkers.
Yeah, and they were
And
even in a
the
single box for last
yeah, and
Christmas, so
yes,
you had
exactly,
like half of the army already.
in a single box. So
Mm.
yeah, that's why also that's the exact reason I do own the World Eaters army. So,
Yeah, then we got Sisters and Guard, both with 42 players. That's 5.18%. I think Sisters quite expected.
I
Guard, in terms of like, I don't know, a tier list I have in my head, maybe not as much, but again, a very popular faction in terms of like fan base.
I wouldn't expect Sisters to be such high on such high place. To be honest,
Okay.
I mean they're easy to collect. They used to be not to work differently because you had like really strange in the previous edition. You have like you needed to have some repentias and stuff like that, and they came with like strange boxes sometimes, especially starters and combat patrol. But right
Mm.
now, when you play mostly around the vehicles, it's easy to collect. And also, you have a Battle Force box released quite recently, when you do have all the stuff needed, basically. So
Okay.
Exorcist and 20 Seraphims and a Canoness. So that's a good start, and you buy some more tanks, and then you have a list because model count in this army is relatively low. But I didn't expect this to be like one of the top popular choices.
Okay. Then we've got Space Marines, but not including Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Black Templars, and Space Wolves. That's 41 players. Obviously, if you would include them, then that would be the most popular faction, which is a surprise to nobody.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Uh,
yeah, as I was saying,
for
49 Codex Astartes compliant Space Marines,
yeah, for
39 Blood Angels, 35 Dark Angels, and 22 Black Templars and 22 Space Wolves. But after that, we've got Thousand Suns 36. I think we could have expected more Thousand Suns players, given the recent performance levels that the faction's hitting. Then we have Grey Knights at 35, along with Orcs.
Mhm.
So that's interesting. 34 Eldari, 30 Custodes and Chaos Demons, and Tau. I think if I'm looking at like general, like a spread that you would expect an event of OGT scale, I would expect more Custodes and Tau, even though they're not necessarily top meta picks.
What's the number of players right now? It's 800
For
something.
830.
Uh, Just I'm just trying to calculate what's the expected value. So how many factions do we have?
I don't know, 20-ish.
29. So the average is 28 per faction. Just
Okay. So still slightly above average. Maybe that's okayish numbers, I guess. Well,
but so
never mind.
yeah, but Necrons are like nearly double. Yeah, maybe not the, yeah,
Yeah,
nearly
yeah, yeah,
double
yeah.
the average.
Well, in that case, after that, we've got the below average faction, starting with Votan at 27, which is a 3.33% of the player base. Drukari 26, Death Guard 25, Imperial Knights 20 players, Admech 17, Genestealer Cult 15, Chaos Knights 10, and Imperial Agents 4 dudes. Or dudettes. I don't know. Then Chaos Emperor's Children and Slanesh, I'm not really sure I want to count them as actual factions, as this is
Yeah,
probably just a PCP extract. And you can write anything you want in PCP,
yeah.
or you
If we separate this from the like factions, then the average will be 32. So
yeah. In VCP, I think there's like 40 factions to pick from, so
yeah.
it is what it is. Right. So, looking at it in general now, is any faction, in your opinion, overrepresented, or or any faction underrepresented?
So for Necrons are clearly like overrepresented, and from what I see, Chaos Knights are actually surprising to me that there are only 10.
Okay.
Because they are like super easy to collect, and then they are really good, also competitive wise, and they're easy to play.
Uh, I think they've got some not very good matchups.
Yeah, for sure, but
Yeah, exactly.
for sure you
Uh,
have like matchups that you can't win, but it's basically the same applies to all like bottom factions. But I think like
okay.
I personally I thought that they are all like, more popular. Also Imperial Knights.
Uh, yeah. Well, if you look at knights in general, yeah, then definitely one could expect to see
Yeah,
more people bringing them.
yeah, because
Um,
like Automag, Genestealer Cults, Death Guard, like explainable for that they're not that popular, especially like Automag and Genestealer Cults are the like fucking mess to collect and to like do the collection of models, and they're all so expensive. Yeah,
yeah, true that. I think there's a very low number of Eldari.
yeah, they got nerfed finally.
Yeah, and I think it shows, right? And all right, well, I think with that we'll be wrapping up the episode. Guys, you know the drill. If you like what we do, like, subscribe, etc., etc. Consider becoming a patron, as that helps us immensely. Now, this will be the last episode in the series of the run up to the LGT. So you're listening to this, it's probably Thursday, so just the day before the Invitational. So make sure you tune in to Contact Lost to follow all the action across the weekend. We'll be there to deliver all those reports, etc., for you. And yeah, for today, thank you for listening. Thank you for to our sponsors, Weyland-Yutani and the Iron Painter, as well as our community of Patreons. Nighty night, goodbye, au revoir, whatever you want.
See you.